right, here we go. Carver and Cuthbert here with you. Go Sports Radio from Borelli's Tap Room in Long Beach. Mike Carver here with you along with Paul Cuthbert. It is another Wednesday, beautiful Wednesday down here in Long Beach. A little rain this morning, but that's all right. A little cold. I'm going to start to learn it's long sleeves only on Wednesdays and Thursdays, but that's okay. I'll figure that all out. Paulie, good to see you as always, my man. How are you?
Good afternoon. Happy Wednesday to you and everybody out there. Thanks for tuning in, and a big thanks to everybody who's been tuning into the show the last couple of weeks as we've gotten started here at Borelli's in Long Beach, New York. Good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you too here as we get going. Very busy show today. We've got a lot of football to talk about, obviously Jets, Giants, etc. All the stuff from this past week. We start heading towards week number 12 in the NFL. College football to do. The local pucks we have to do as well. We have some hoops. We have Denny Bernstein, the legend from Los Angeles. Of course, the fourth period, Sirius XM NHL Radio. So a very busy show to get to today.
Can I tell you what I did yesterday, buddy?
What did you do yesterday?
I played golf.
Get out of here.
I played 18 holes of golf yesterday at the beautiful Lawrence Country Club.
Is that right?
With Cousin Joe and Tommy D.
Wow.
And I shot a 103.
103.
103. First time I've golfed in about 15 years, pal.
I played there at the end of August with Cousin Kay and Jimmy. And did Joe play with us that day? No, who played with us that day? I forget. My memory is so bad. But I played there at the end of August with them. It's a beautiful course.
It's probably a little warmer in August for you.
It was a
little brisk yesterday.
I don't mind playing in this weather, as you know, because it's like Cape weather a little bit. You know, you get involved, you get a little brisk wind, you get something. I like this. There's less people out on the course. Those things are usually good for me. So I know you probably would have preferred it to be a little warmer, though.
I tell you what.
103, you probably would play in the cold all the time. Good score for you not playing in a long time.
Yes, it was. In fact, I wasn't even keep scoring. I didn't realize. And then Cousin Joe at the end said, hey, you shot a 103 or 106 maybe. But I said, dude, I wasn't keeping score. And he says, yeah, I kept score for you. So I was pretty impressed.
You it was a 99. You should have said he shot a 99 today. Got a Gretzky out of you.
Had the gloves on, had the sweatshirts on, and the ski caps and everything. We went out there and it was good stuff.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. That's awesome that you got out there. I would actually like to get a round in, a couple more rounds before. I played 9 at Merrick twice in the month of October, so I'm looking. I'm still want to try to get out when I can.
This will be a golf show here too.
I'm going to start swinging the stick a little more. We got the RSM in Sea Island teeing off tomorrow. Last PGA Tour event of the calendar year, really, until they take the last month and a half off before the new year starts. So a lot of guys at Sea Island for this weekend. If you want to get involved, Nico Echevarria at 45-1. Maybe we can get him across the line.
MLB is actually having their inaugural players tournament, I believe.
Oh, are they?
Next week or two. I saw.
Now those guys are really good because they have lots of time to play. You notice how professional.
I'm just surprised that this
quarterbacks,
is the first annual.
Pitchers, they're all really good golfers for whatever reason. I wonder what it is, but for whatever reason,
I am not a good golfer. I want you to know that,
buddy. That's great for you getting out there for the first time in forever. All right, very busy today. We have a lot to do. We're down here at Borelli's Tap Room as always. Come down, hang out, and checking us out on the stream is always good too. We're gonna get to Denny in about 10 minutes or so. We'll start here. Obviously, the locals in football. As brutal as it is to talk about, but the Giants lose again on Sunday. Kind of gave you a little bit of everything.
Look good for another 3 quarters there, pal.
But again, and I think that's really what it comes down to. You know, I thought, again, their offense played well enough to win, and their defense, again, let them down.
And guess who still got a job?
Well, someone else said this to me on Monday, and I forget who it was. Texted me saying, can you believe that he's keeping this bone for another – and this was my response, Paul. And it'll be my response to you as well.
Well, I know you brought up last week about not pulling a guy out midseason and everything else, but I don't know, man.
But here's another response. Doesn't matter at this point.
Yeah, that is the other good point.
There's 6 or 7 games left.
Yeah.
What everyone's going to be out at the end of the year anyway. You've already fired the head coach. There's going to be a new coach who comes in and has his own staff. It's not going to be Kafka either. They're going to have a brand new coach, a brand new What's the difference? You might as well lose, Paulie, at this point. Keep him in there and with the bad defense and let him lose. What's the difference?
I don't know, man.
What do you want?
It's
Do
a
you
good
want to win games down the stretch? What do I guess you're tired of picking in the top 5
I don't know,
every
man.
year.
Just give the fan base some happiness and fire the guy so
I
we can
guess
say, hey, we fired him.
that's true. You want
Got
somebody
to look
to
at
be,
this guy
well,
on the
listen,
sideline
here's
every
one
weekend.
thing I could probably guarantee. In the last month of the season, they'll give you 1 or 2 more moments of giant pride at home so that they pick 6th instead of 2nd in the draft and get enough wins so that they're picking there instead of there. How would you, so there you go. They'll give you some giant pride down the stretch. I'm sure that they will. So the Giants was, and look, Jameis played well, but you knew he wasn't going to get out of there without throwing a pick. He did on the last play of the game.
It was just astonishing just to watch the defense just do that again to us.
Yeah.
It's just,
they're not good.
You know, and the whole Abdul Carter stuff,
Well,
sleep to meetings. I mean,
this is like a thing running all over the league now. You got guys missing meetings. Guys said, there's this Coleman in Buffalo too. He sat on Sunday because he's been missing some meetings and not being a professional, things like that.
You know, we're everybody's talking about the whole coach thing here, stuff, and about accountability, what the Giants need or any NFL franchise needs as far as a guy who can come in here and command the room. I mean, with Dable out, Kafka in, and that stuff with Abdul Carter and everything else, it kind of shows like, it's there's no discipline there, Yeah. Listen to Tiki Barber the last couple of days myself. I think is just, he's obviously been there, and I love his takes on it. And just that's a big problem too. I mean, that's as a franchise, that's something you got to have in there, because it just seems like, the rest of the season, I guess I'm mumbling here because I'm concerned.
You're not mumbling.
I'm concerned that the rest of the season here for the Giants is just going to become a big shit show.
Well, look, I think that you have to look at it like this. There are positives that are going to come out of this season no matter what. And it's Jackson Dart and it's Scatterbo, but we'll talk about it in a moment. We'll talk about him in a moment too. But and I think that it's smart to, once again, I would not play Dart this week in Detroit in what I think is going to be a really bad spot for them. The Lions coming off that loss to the Eagles at home. Lions are really good. They smashed it. This is going to be a week where Jameis does finally throw a couple pick sixes.
The theme, I guess, for the Giants is what's the point?
Well, look, I don't think that you don't want him to, if he's cleared to play, I do think that there is some value in the last 3 or 4 weeks of the season.
Give him another week. Give him another week.
I agree with that. I wouldn't play him this week. Even if they did clear him, I wouldn't play him against this team. I would, though, want him to have a little rundown the last 3 or 4 weeks. And I think it was, might have been Francesa who said this on his show. And he said, just give the Giant fans a little something to think about during the holiday season and to look forward to next year. That's it, though. It's Dart and Scatterbo and having those guys.
Maybe bring them back the last 2 games of the season.
And then who's going to be whether it's 2 or 3 games, whatever. Now, Cam looks good enough that he could push guys at Monday Night Raw. So I guess, I know this has been talked about a lot. Did you really have any problem with him shoving the guy at Monday Night Raw?
Well, we all know it's scripted.
Of course.
So
he knew when he sat down, he was going to push one of the guys later.
I'm with you. The overreaction is just a little ridiculous.
Well, it's something to talk about. So it's
with all the things there is to talk about in New York sports.
Well, it's almost right, but this is like something different. I understand. I've seen a lot of people.
So on that side, it's a positive thing. It's funny. Laugh. Nobody got hurt. He's already hurt anyway.
Right. Well, I guess the sentiment is he could hurt. He's already had the surgery.
Rempey jersey is classic. I mean,
now he's got the Rempey jersey at the Garden, shoving whatever. I don't know any of the guys, whoever it was that he pushed there at the Monday Night Raw event at the Garden. And I liked his response, though, too. Like, he went out on tour. He's just like, what do you care what I'm doing? Like, I'm having fun. Leave me alone.
Showing off the grill.
Leave me alone.
Diamond grill.
Leave me alone. You got
what
Carter
is he, 22
there
years old or something?
Yeah, he's a kid. He gets
man.
He gets all.
He's got a lot of money.
He's got a little taste now. He's an NFL player. He's got some stardom here, even though he got hurt. He's going to be a big thing in this town, and he gets asked to do something like that. He's probably been watching wrestling his whole life. Like, I'm going to get to sit in the front row and push some guy. And
I imagine that for the Giants front office, they're letting him have free reign on this because it's a distraction about the product on the field.
Well, that's definitely true. That's definitely a distraction from the product on the field. There's no question about that. I didn't think it was as big a deal as some people made it out this week. Like,
I agree.
Whatever. Like, If he would have jumped over the rail and gotten the ring and was hitting the ropes and yeah, that's a problem. The guy's got, but he stood there and pushed the guy down. He's probably doing more than that at physical therapy in the morning, coming back from his injury. So whatever. Calm down. Just take a pill. It's okay. So the Giants will go to Detroit this week and play the Lions. We'll probably talk about it a little bit more tomorrow, unfortunately. They get smashed by that team who are coming off that loss to the Eagles on Sunday night. Yeah. Not a good spot for them. Lions are they have covered their last 13 games after a loss. And this year that's happened 3 times. And in the 3 games after they lost, they won by, I think it's 31, 25, and 15 or something like that. So the Lions have responded off of a loss this year in a big way. And they have the right team coming into their building to potentially do that again this week, Paulie. So,
and you know what'll happen, right? The Giants will win.
God, that's the NFL, right?
Exactly.
That's the NFL, I guess you could say in a nutshell at those points. The Jets, of course, played Thursday night. We were here Thursday. They actually were, I guess you could say, more in the game than I thought they would be. You know, it was 13. They lost by, which was right on the number. Hopefully you got 12.5 if you're in the betting space and not the 13 for the push. But it was right on the number, and it was kind of a ho-hum, short week win for the Patriots. But I guess the news, if there is any, if the Jets are even further down the totem pole than the Giants in terms of what's there to talk about. But they will send Justin Fields to the bench this week in Baltimore.
And we already know in advance, I believe.
And you know in advance, Aaron Glenn's not going to make you guess all the way until Sunday morning. He's already told you, or I guess, now, did he physically say it or just all the reporters said it? I have to go and double check that. But it will be Tyrod Taylor against the Ravens.
You got him in your fantasy team?
No, nor do I plan on adding him on Sunday for that showdown in Baltimore, where the Jets are 2 touchdown dogs. To the Ravens this week.
It's a tough watch, man. It's a tough watch.
And let me tell you, it's unfortunate. I'm glad I'm not a fan of either team. New York football has been so brutal for 10 years.
Bounce back a little bit up northwest there in New York State.
Well, the only real New York team, as we like to say.
Yes.
We do like to say that
geographically
from time to time.
speaking.
They are geographically the only New York team. We will discuss them in a little bit when we kind of recap through week 11, because they had themselves a very good win in that spot against the Bucs on Sunday. Look at this, boy. This fell out. I got to put this back in.
Well, you're usually not wearing it. So for those of you listening, Mike has got his earpiece in today.
Well, he's
looking like my security detail. That's what he's looking like.
Well, that's not bad too. I'm actually Big Walt's security detail. Big Walt came down today, so I'm security detail for him. Make sure that nobody touches Big Walt while he's down at Borelli's Tap Room here on a Wednesday. I would never want that to happen. Excited after an Islander win.
And that's where we are every Wednesday and Thursday, Mike, live from Borelli's Tap Room right here, 912 West Beach Street in the great city of Long Beach. Check out Borelli'sTapRoom.com. I'll fill everybody in on what's happening here in the next few weeks here at Borelli's. It's good stuff.
Well, you are going to do that, and I am just going to tease something before we talk to Denny.
Okay.
They got this thing with the Peronis now, getting what is it, 100 Peronis, and you get your name on the wall. There's like a Peroni club that they're going to have here. I got to go get that sign when we take a break later. I'm going to go grab that.
You remember years ago we did a show at another pizza joint years ago in Westbury, and we all had a bunch of Peronis. So we are Peroni fans.
I like Peroni.
So
it's a good solid beer.
Enjoy drinking down here more than anything.
And there could be, I'll tell you when I won't be having Peronis. There could be, depending on how this pots shake out tomorrow for the UEFA World Cup qualifying.
I can't
playoffs.
believe we're going to talk soccer today.
Italy is also in the playoff. They weren't able to get out of their group directly into the World Cup. And you could there's been some historical Ireland to Italy. Scotland's in.
I know, but I'm saying it's just. I'm looking forward to talking about it. And 2 weeks ago, I was laughing about it.
Right.
So.
Well, it was a scene. What happened with the Parrot in Ireland and at the death against Hungary the other day.
Well, the scenes, the just the energy, the fan bases, the countries. I mean, I think, real quick on this, for us here in the United States, it's just not a big thing for us because we really don't have a huge U.S. international soccer team, you know. So, but we'll see what happens.
We will see what happens. Go Sports Radio, Carver and Cuthbert here at Borelli's Tap Room in Long Beach, of course. As we get ready, a lot going on, and always good to welcome in an absolute legend. Fourth period, NHL radio, travel connoisseur, world traveler, and legend, Danny Bernstein. Hi, how are you?
I can't believe I'm on a show with you too. Yeah, I'm doing great, fellas.
You've had us now, Denny. You've had us separately. Separately.
Oh yeah, forever separately. But this is a treat for sure, fellas. Great to be with you, and great to see you from Borelli's. Oh my God, wow! I saw that. I'm like, wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah, they got the good pizzas. Next time you're in town to come to UBS, Denny, we will get you over to Borelli's for a little lunch before we get there. Denny, let's start here because I think it has to be hockey first, and I just want your opinion on what clearly is now the best player in New York. I'm a little stunned. I was one of the guys, Denny, foolishly, who was saying, man, the Islanders need offense. Maybe they should draft Misa. Maybe they should draft all these other. Denny, this kid Schaefer is better than advertised. I can't believe, Denny, how good he is already.
Yeah. We were talking about what, the Calder? He's probably going to win the Calder?
Yeah.
Put him in the Norris conversation. Now, Cale Makar's the best defenseman in the league, without question. Right? Not close. This kid might be, he's coming up second. Quinn Hughes and Zach Werenski better look over their shoulders. Amazing. To come in this early as an 18-year-old with that coach who would never think you would trust a kid that age. I mean, out of necessity, you trade Noah Dobson, obviously. But imagine exceeding expectations for a first overall pick. That's what's happened with Matthew Schaefer.
Well, as a Ranger fan, Denny, it's only 20 games in, honestly. Really. I mean, come on. So should we really get that excited around here?
They're talking about him maybe sliding him on the Olympic
Miller
team.
Played last night in his own zone. Maybe you should be excited about Matthew Schaefer. I don't know what that was about.
But
they got problems, believe me.
Before Paulie goes to the Rangers, Denny, you saw the Islanders last night in Dallas get the win over the Stars. They're having a 5-1 road trip.
Great road trip.
Unbelievable road trip. And I thought that was a game last night, Denny, that would be like Colorado on Sunday. Maybe a team a little too much for them to buy.
Sure.
You see the passion, like, wow, giving Ranton in the business. Like, that's the first time we've seen really explode behind the Islander bench.
I thought he was going to have a coronary bang. He was all red-faced and everything. And it reminded me when he went at it with Boudreaux back in Colorado, right, when they were pushing the glass between each other. Yeah, look, it was a tough play, and that looks like what does that look like, a collarbone for Romanov. I don't want to be a doctor here on the line, but that was a tough call. But there was a little push by Mayfield. I get it, but in the moment, you never want to see a player go down like that. And the way he reacted to the injury, that was a tough look.
Hey, DB, staying on the Islanders real quick before we I don't want to spend too much time on Broadway. It's very boring over there. Darche coming in. The effect of Lou Lamb not being there anymore. There seems to be, and getting back to Schaefer and his availability to the media, there's a different bit of air on the team. You can watch the benches, watch the bench for the Islanders, and talk, what Mike's talking about, the passion, everything else. Something that's really standing out for me, looking on the outside here, noticing that, almost like this exhale, this big relief. There's a totally different air around the franchise, and I just want to know if that's something that maybe you agree with, or maybe you've noticed yourself.
No dress code, no. You can have facial hair. What? Yeah, of course it's different. We're in like the 21st, almost the 22nd century, Paulie. It should change. I get it. Losing all the time. He's a Hall of Famer. He's a builder. He's a very brilliant hockey mind. But there's some of those rules that have to go away in 2025. So I think it's a relief by some of the guys and on the bench, in the room, and probably in the front office as well. So there needed to be a little bit of a culture change from Lou, because to be frank, I think that type of approach to running a franchise isn't modern day. It's changed. The kids are different. They're more worldly. They all have phones. They're they're much more savvy. And I think that's part of the reason that Matthew Schaefer, look, 5, 10, 15 years ago, you never let a kid like that play that much, ever. Like, it'd take 2 or 3 years to get him to the point where he is right now. I think the approach has to change. So with Matthew Darsh and the rest of the organization, I think they've stepped into the 21st century. I think it's nothing but a good thing for the Islanders.
Yeah, and you can definitely see it. Real quick, over on Broadway, Turk to Lavs to Sully. I especially between Lavs and Sully here, I as a fan don't really see too much. We haven't seen it yet. I think this is going to be a season of length here as far as the Rangers are going to need this whole season to kind of figure things out. There's obviously a lot of the same core. I think, Trouba and then Kreider, obviously, those pieces leaving here, there's just nothing for me personally as a fan. And I don't know, as far as the regular fan, but as far as grabbing onto the identity, pulling for a guy like JT coming in here. It's a roller coaster season, as you know, it's a long season, but there just doesn't seem anything to be jumping out yet. Is it too early to overanalyze these guys? But because of the talent, some of these guys with these long-term contracts that the Rangers have had, these guys who haven't been able to get over the hump in the playoffs, obviously good success as far as getting to the playoffs and conference finals in the past. But what do you see with the problem is? And and outside of saying what a lot of the fans will just go to, it's jury. But your take as an expert here and covering a lot of the teams, what do you see what's going on here in New York?
They're better defensively, Paul. They haven't shown much offensively. Mika looks better. Look, Mika couldn't look any worse than he did last season, right? He needed to bounce back, right? But JT is a lightning rod. Like he like when he's on, he's a leader. He hits guys. He scores goals. He's not producing at a clip that a number one center should be, what his paycheck check should be. So that's the challenge. I'm not sure if it's like the middle six isn't great. It's a good team. Maybe they make the wild card. But there's regression here. They got to lean on both Shesterkin and Quick a lot. I just don't see it. And look, it looks bad because Kreider and Trouba are doing well in Anaheim. I don't know how that's sustainable. But it's an okay team. It's like if we're questioning if the Rangers are going to make the playoffs, that's not a good sign. And if you want to lay it on the general manager, he can. He pulls all the moves. He holds all the strings. Like, it hasn't been a good job by Chris Drury. We'll see. But there's nothing, Paul, does that look like a team that can win 9 out of 10? If Igor gets hot, maybe. But the rest of the team, I don't think so. The defense, I'm not in love with. Gavrikov, knew him from LA, great ad. Nice partner with Fox. The bottom four, Soucy, Borgen, nothing excites me. And for a team that plays in the most famous arena in the world, you need an exciting team. And to be frank, and only exciting on the road, Paulie, for some reason. I don't know what's going on at home.
That's kind of similar, Denny, with the Kings, right? Like, I remember last year talking to you about the Kings with Pharrell, and it was the Kings were so good at home and they were awful on the road. Now this year, the Kings don't. I lost last night. Kings don't lose on the road for the most part, and they've struggled at home at the Crypto. How about the Kings so far?
And Paulie, 2 years ago they were really bad at home and good on the road. Then they were good at home, bad on the road. Now again, because that style you can play in visiting arenas. You're not trying to entertain the fans. They don't give up a lot. And again, this is a team that hasn't changed an identity from Todd McClellan to Jim Hiller. They check for their chances. So when Connor Bedard says, the game was kind of boring when they played Chicago, that's what they want. They want to goad you into a boring game. It's not a team that's off the rush. It's not an up-tempo team. There's not a ton of speed on the team. But they're getting great goaltending from Darcy Kemper, who should be on the Canadian Olympic team, right? They don't give up much. Now, Drew Doughty's out for 3 weeks. Got hit with a puck in Ottawa. I think it's a broken toe. So he's week to week, but my guess is about a month. They'll be in the mix because here's the thing, Paulie. If you watch the West, there's one good team. They play in Denver. Everybody else, meh. I'm not impressed. Dallas is getting hot, but last night the Islanders did them, and they had won 5 in a row. It's wide open for the Kings. Like, look at Edmonton. They've been terrible. Vegas isn't exciting anybody because I think Vegas is going to have challenges in net and on the blue line. So the Kings are probably on pace for about 101, 102 points. Not the most exciting team in the league. They need to play. They did get Adrian Kempe signed to a deal they had to get done, and they basically got him under market. His comparable was Kyle Connor. They got him at 10.65. He loves living playing here. He's a homegrown King, so they'll be in the mix. But Paulie, doesn't matter. They could do 105, 106, 107 points, Carve. They have to win in the playoffs. And Kenny Holland believes that Joel Armia, Corey Perry, who, to be honest, has been their MVP since he played. He's almost a point-a-game player. Dumoulin and Cece are going to be the answers in the playoffs. We'll find out.
They are. Carver and Cuthbert here, Go Sports Radio at Borelli's Tap Room, talking to, of course, Denny Bernstein, fourth period, Sirius XM NHL Radio. Speaking of have to finally get it done in the playoffs, this is another conversation. I feel like it's a yearly rite of passage that we have to do this. Again, the Carolina Hurricanes are one of the favorites to win the Cup.
Sure.
They're an extremely dominant regular season team. They outshoot everybody every single night. They're all over the puck. But Denny, again, until I see it in April and May, I don't believe it. I am not running out to bet the Hurricanes to win the Stanley Cup this year. I'm not doing it. Yeah,
they'll probably be 110 points. They might be the President's Trophy winner. They probably win the Metro because now the Devils can't get out of their own way with respect to injuries. I feel for them. I think it's a curse.
I know you know what really happened with Hughes' hand, Danny. I know there's been lots of stories and all. What happened with Hughes' hand? It's all.
Jack went out to dinner at Chicago Cut and fell down. It's okay. Now, whether you happen him when he fell down is another story. I don't know about that. But the Hurricanes, place to think, Paulie, like they're going to look really good. Coach is great. Not sure about their goaltending because they seem to use a different goaltender every game. And when push comes to shove, would you pick them against Tampa or Florida in the playoffs? And here's why. I still don't like their center play. Like Sebastian Aho's a really nice player. And guess what? Really nice players don't win Stanley Cups. Sam Bennett, who's not a really nice player, he wins Stanley Cups. I don't, and I've picked them a couple seasons in a row, Carve, to win it, and they've come up short. I don't see anything. And they added Ehlers, who's a really nice player. They have all the components. I worry about their size, to be honest with you. They're not a very big team. And in the playoffs, if you get into grinding 6 and 7 game series against, an Ekblad or a Hedman, it's going to be a challenge. So they'll be there. But again, as good as they are, Carve, they haven't even got to a Cup final yet. Yeah. It's not much. They haven't won. There's always somebody in their way. So again, you're right about that. The first 82 games means nothing, like absolutely nothing. Who's the matchup? It's like boxing sometimes. Styles make fights. Sometimes they don't get the benefit of a good matchup, and they end up, not being able to get to a Cup final.
DB, and I know we're definitely going to have you back throughout the season and talk more hockey as the season progresses here. I'd love just 2 quick thoughts from you from my end before I throw it back to Mike. Just real quick on Coach Q coming back in Anaheim, what you're seeing in San Jose as far as California hockey the rest of the way. And then I'd love to just
Celebrini, man.
Start there with those two things, and then I got one more question for me.
Yeah. So Anaheim, look, I give Greg Cronin credit. Now, a lot of people don't like him out the door, but he took that team from 59 points to 80. They got a lot of talent. Like, I was wondering, what Verbeek was doing there, but when you look at this team can score. They're in venture in their own zone still, and that's probably what prevents them. They might get to the postseason because I mentioned the West is up for grabs. They could grab a wild card spot. I don't think sustainable first place is there, but they got a lot of talent. Like, Cutter Gauthier is probably the next Corey Perry. Leo Carlson reminds you a lot of Andrei Kopitar. Their left side defense with Zellweger and Minikoff and Jackson Lacombe. This team's going to be trouble in 2 seasons. They really, really are. They might make a little bit of noise in the playoffs. San Jose, I've said this before, they were last season the most fun last place team in any sport because they were losing a lot, but they were having a good time. And I think that helped Macklin Celebrini last year because he was like the difference between Macklin and Bedard never looked like he was having any fun. It's getting better now. The team's better, but and not for nothing, last year, Celebrini had Will Smith. He had a running mate. Like this year, Bedard has Frank Nazar. But I think the fact that they went through it with Will Smith, I think that really helped all the losing. And now the kid's amazing. Holy crap. He's going to be the next Jonathan Taves, I think, at this point in time. He's that good. Like the shot is phenomenal. And then he's having fun playing. Now, they need to adjust their blue line. They're still not a playoff team. So I think that's it. So Anaheim is much closer to the playoffs than San Jose is. But again, maybe 3 to 4 years from now, remember back in the day, coming to California, nobody wanted to come to play Anaheim, San Jose, and LA. We're getting towards that point again because the lift of both Anaheim and San Jose.
Celebrini with the hat trick last night, the overtime winner for the Sharks against Utah. Unbelievable. He had 2 goals in the first 5 minutes of the game as well. Denny, before you go, I know, congrats on the Dodgers. You're a Dodger ticket.
I'm a Yankee fan. Hold on, I'm a Yankee.
I know.
We know you are, but we get to see you at Dodger Stadium.
Trent Grissom at $22 million. Okay.
You got the soft spot for the Dodgers.
I do. My wife, and because they beat the Blue Jays, I have so many friends from Toronto being in hockey.
Right.
More of my friends were miserable over that outcome. Like when Pagnotta fought me, my partner did, but he flew to LA, picked him up in an Ohtani jersey. So
and then also the Rams. Now
That's my
you
team.
went to London for the Rams when they squashed the Jaguars in that one game.
Yeah.
I know you're pumped up. Are you thinking Super Bowl here? Because I think the Rams are the one team in the NFC that could beat the Eagles in January.
They should have beat them last year. We were going in 13 years. Here's the thing. As a Ram fan, what could be sweeter than going up to Levi Stadium and winning it in the 49ers park? And then the way Atlanta's playing, they're going to get a top 5 pick. A brilliant look. Sean McVay is unbelievable. And I don't agree with his play calling sometimes. Les Snead is a brilliant general manager. He doesn't get enough credit. It's a beautiful stadium. It's such, and I don't root for like hockey. I don't root for anybody anymore, right? Yankees, I'm disgusted with them. Like it's such a joy to watch this team and see the way McVay does interviews and how communicative he is. It's a model franchise. It's just such a great experience to go to those games. The game in Seattle was off the hook too. They're going down to the last second, but yeah, I think the Rams could absolutely win the Super Bowl. And you know what? The great thing about it was I could fly up day of game, not even stay in those stupid hotels up in San Francisco and just go to the game and come home. So, but yeah, the Rams were. I agree with you, Paulie. They should have beat him the first time around. Carp, they should have beat him the first time around. It was 26-7 in Philly, and they just collapsed. This is a dangerous team. If they can protect, if Matthew can stay healthy, they've got all the components. Their defense is underrated. This is an excellent team in the front to watch.
Denny, tremendous job.
Just one last thing, Dave, before I let you go, and thank you so much. As far as Harbaugh coming into the Chargers there and everything else, how's that working out there with the Chargers sharing the building there? I mean, we're obviously used to it here with the Giants and the Jets, but how's that working out, and how much of an impact as far as their moderate success here playing out in LA with obviously the Rams and obviously the success of the Dodgers? You got to win in LA, right, Paulie? That's the challenge. You got to win. The team should be they should be better. Like they got crushed by. I don't know what that was on Sunday against Jacksonville. They're the second team in the market. They might be the third or fourth team in the market. Well, not UCLA footballers. So, but it's probably behind Rams and USC because it's not. There weren't a lot of Charger fans here. They were all down in San Diego. Some come up. So it's a fun team. Herbert's great to watch. He's inconsistent. Harbaugh's a nice quote. But again, I don't think I don't think the fan base is that big. And you can hear it in games. I know you hear it about the Rams all the time. There's not a lot of fans, but they're an okay team. They're a good team. They're not the best team in that division. That's tough because Denver's defense is amazing, and Casey's always going to be around. So it's a competitive team. He'll have them competitive. He likes a running game. I think they're just a touch short with respect to getting to a Super Bowl, though.
It is the hard part because they are always going to be the third team football team in town. Like they'll never pass USC. No. They'll never pass the Rams, and that's the very tough thing for the Chargers. They're going to have to get over. Denny, love you as always. Thanks for coming by. Great to see you, and we'll see you again soon. Okay, buddy? Anytime you boys want me, happy to come on. Thanks for having me on CNC. Dennis Bernstein, the fourth period, Sirius XM, NHL radio with us here. Go Sports Radio, Carver and Cuthbert with you. Rip Borelli Stat Room in Long Beach. We will come back and get into NFL from last week. We've got the college football playoff rankings from last night. We've got some other things with pucks. We teased soccer before. We have that as well. Yankees with another bonehead decision, giving the qualifying offer to Trent Grisham and give him $22 million next year. So we have a lot more to do. Carver and Cuthbert, Go Sports Radio from Borelli's. We're back right after this. Big ball. Right? Hanging in there. we're back. Carver and Cuthbert here with you, Go Sports Radio from Borelli's Tap Room in Long Beach.
Can I tell everybody what's going
well,
on,
yes,
Borelli?
I was
Can I
gonna.
tell
I
everybody?
was gonna get there.
I'm so
I was
excited.
gonna get there. Don't worry. I would never. Did I find the? Where's the Peroni thing? I ain't get that in.
Yeah, we gotta. You like Italian beer? Peroni's, baby.
Peroni's. Go ahead. Give the Borelli's rundown because a lot of good stuff coming up.
Once again, we are live Wednesdays and Thursdays right
Yes.
here from Borelli's Tap Room, 912 West Beach Street in Long Beach, New York. Great spot. Come on down. And they, in addition to having a brand new sports podcast here with CNC,
Yes.
they do comedy, live music, and featured nights here, pasta making class and everything. So just filling in a couple things that are going on. Colin Quinn, comedian, is going to be here tonight.
That's
It's
tonight?
sold out. You can't get in the place except for me.
You're coming tonight, right?
I'm coming tonight. I'll be back here.
Oh,
And then I'm
baby.
coming back here tomorrow morning to hang out with you again. So
Spending a lot of time.
I think I'm
here.
going to just shock up upstairs.
Colin Quinn tonight.
He's in tonight.
Remote
And,
Control, Saturday Night Live.
Some good
Oh,
stuff coming up in December. On December 2nd, Des Bishop's coming in, comedian Des Bishop. Monday, December 8th, Jared Freed is coming in. And then on Saturday, December 13th, they got the Electric Light Parade that goes up and down here for the
Oh,
holidays. Okay. And they got some great specials that are going to be going on during the parade here, and live music by Anthony Gal. Great talent, good guy. Make sure you come out for that. That's just a great time down here in Long Beach. A lot of fun. That's the Electric Light Parade on Saturday, December 13th. Make Borelli's your home base here for that night. On Wednesday, December 10th, they have the pasta making class. If
Yes.
I haven't checked yet, but that usually always sells out too. So go to Borelli'sTapRoom.com for more information on that. And Wednesday, December 17th. Wednesday, December 17th, it's Billy Joel theme night here. Wine specials, dinner specials, songs from an Italian restaurant coming down for that as well. So make sure you come down to Borelli's. Check it out. Always one of the best happy hour here in Long Beach as well too. Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. $10 plates, the big beef pretzel, Mike, fried zucchini, the buffalo wings, cheese pizza, mozzarella sticks, all for $10. $4 Miller Lights, $5 pull-in drafts, $7 stateside soda, $6 house wines, and $6 well drinks. All here at Borelli's Tap Room.
got it all in.
Home of CNC
Got it all in.
on
Got it all in.
sportsradio.com.
GoSportsRadio.com. Right
Pretty good,
here,
huh? That's pretty
for
good,
us.
right?
You got everything in. Colin
All
Quinn's
right.
going to be really good tonight. You're going to enjoy that. I expect a full review tomorrow morning. When we
Oh.
do the show tomorrow.
You got it.
I expect a full review of Colin Quinn from
Can't
here
wait.
at Borelli's tonight. All right. Let's do a few other things. Great job by Denny there. And Denny does travel with the Rams. He does follow them around. He did go to London for that Jaguar game.
Well,
but then he
we
went-
would,
He's
you know,
a
we
season
say
ticket
it's
holder,
the
so he
fabulous
gets
life
the
of Dennis Bernstein.
And you know, with the fourth period, he travels all over the place too. Lots of stops in Toronto, lots of stops. Obviously during playoff time, he's all over the place. Cup back and forth to wherever the two cities.
He's a
are.
great follow on X.
He absolutely
You gotta
is.
follow Dennis
You gotta
Bernstein.
follow Denny. He does a tremendous
and
job.
one of the smartest guys in the business.
No doubt about it. All right. We talked about the locals with the football, but let's now just kind of do our little overreaching look at everything that happened. And I know you mentioned the Bills before. They, of course, won at home against Tampa. Josh Allen, 3 rushing, 3 passing touchdowns. He had 6 touchdowns in the game. Huge win for them in that game. And, you know, Paulie, I was thinking about it. And you know I've bellyached about this the last few weeks, clearly, because I'm a diehard Bill fan. I want to see the Bills
Huge
maybe
Bills
win
fan.
once in my life. It would be nice. And I've kind of told you the last few weeks, this team's not good. This team's not, they don't have the defense. The coach, they're never going to win with this coach.
Yes,
you know,
you
there's
did
a
say
lot of
that.
things that I've
We
said.
got you on tape.
Now, look, sometimes weird things can happen. All right. And I'm looking at the board right now, and there's still a lot of weeks left. But there's a chance that the Bills may have a path to the Super Bowl for the first time in this Josh Allen era that maybe
I want to hear it.
doesn't have the Kansas City Chiefs blocking their way.
Isn't that
And that
fantastic news?
and I look at it and I go, the Chiefs have been the team that has gotten in their way. They've knocked them out 5 times. I mean, it's just it's sick. Could it be that with the Chiefs being 5-5 now, and they don't have tiebreakers against any of these other teams that are ahead of them? They've lost to the Bills, they've lost to the Jaguars, they lost to the Chargers, they've lost to these teams. So now you're behind the 8 ball with a tiebreaker too. Man, it would be so great if they missed the playoffs completely.
There's thousands and thousands of people who are hoping that the Kansas City Chiefs do not make the playoffs this year.
But and we will go to that as more of a bigger thing next, but maybe this is the way, even if it is on the road for Josh Allen and the Bills.
It's a team in New England, man. Am I there?
But look, they're having a great year. Is Drake May going to take him to the Super Bowl the first time he goes steps in? The playoffs are a little bit of a different animal. And I feel like they're a team that when you get a team that's got a lot of maybe a little bit of playoff bite to them, is going to go in there and beat them. And I'm just saying, looking at the board, the way it lays out right now, and the Bills are only, by the way, they have lost them. They're going to play them again in Foxborough. The Bills could catch and or pass New England for the AFC league. But let's say they didn't have to. Foxborough with Drake May, Denver with Bo Nix, Indy with Daniel Jones. These are places that potentially I think Josh Allen can go into and win in January with how much January experience they have had. You know, it's not Kansas City, which has been obviously the ultimate kryptonite for them in when it comes to the playoffs.
It's absolutely lined up for them.
Well, if they play like they did Sunday against the Bucs, so, you know, if they get that was you saw the Bill offense where it should be, and that's with Josh doing things. And they made some changes in the roster. They sat Keon Coleman. They put some other guys in. You know, I just maybe Paulie, it is the way. You know, maybe it's a different path for them this year. That somehow.
But I hear that hesitation in your voice, though.
Well, because I think that's just the pessimistic fan. I think that anybody who's a fan of anyone would probably have that feeling because you've been, you know, it's like Lucy's pulled the football so many times.
But maybe
you never expected to finally be able to kick it. You know, that's just kind of how it.
I can't think off the top of my head another team or another season where, you know, this type of a path that you're talking about has happened before. And with the Bills and all the pressure, they've been the number 2 behind Mahomes and KC these last how many years, right? So obviously you would think that, you know, like I said, they have an honest chance here. And maybe because maybe there isn't as much pressure on the Bills this year. Now you could say, yes,
well,
this is, okay. Yeah. But I'm saying maybe they quietly take care of business.
Well, yeah.
Whereas it's not as much pressure.
You hate to be like, man, you know, I hope, you know, you're rooting for someone else to not be there, right? You're rooting for this Kansas City who's 5-5, and this year they're losing the 1-score games. Last year they won
it's all we know is NFL fans these last 10 years.
And I think that some would be like, oh, that's what you're rooting for to not have to beat them. Well, yeah, I am, because you want to know what? 20 years, if you end up winning it and you didn't have to go through them, 20, 25 years from now, 50 years from now, Paulie, people aren't going to remember, oh, well, you know, they didn't play the Chiefs that year. No, that's not what you do. When you win, you win.
Yeah, who cares about that?
I don't care about that stuff. So
I don't care.
I'm not looking at it from that aspect. Would it be great to finally slay the dragon? Yeah, sure, it would. But if they can't hold up their end and not even make the playoffs, then no, I don't care if the Bills finally get there, because they might not have Mahomes in their way this time.
I don't think there's any team.
I also probably sound like I'm dismissing Drake May, Bo Nix, and Daniel Jones and those 3 teams, because those are the 3 teams at the top right now in the AFC. I'm just saying, if you look at, I look at things because you know this off of an odds boards perspective too.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
The Bills are the favorites to win the AFC today.
Mm-hmm.
We stand here.
Mm-hmm.
I think because of that reason that I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Because would the Bills be favored in a playoff game in January in Denver against Bo Nix? They might be. Would they be favorites in Indianapolis in a playoff game against Daniel Jones? They might be.
Yeah.
And same thing with New England against Drake.
Or you could say they should be.
Should be. Now, but they have to obviously play to like they did on Sunday against Tampa offensively. They have to be.
And that was a great win. We talked about it last week. And
they have their warts, but pretty much every team does. There's no team that's so far and away from everybody else that they're going to run and hide. Like, and you know, we talked about this on the Bet River show last night. Like, it's like, I mean, we're at Thanksgiving now in a week. The Chiefs and the Lions would miss the playoffs right now. The season ended today. They're both on the outside looking in. And those are 2 teams that we expect before the season that are going to be there in January. There's a long way to go. There's a long way to go.
Which is the argument of decline, or is it the argument of parity?
I think it's
the argument of injuries.
Right.
Is it, you know, all these different things?
I think they all play their part.
Yeah.
I think everything plays its part into what you see now with the NFL, because it used to be, you know, I thought, you know, a third of the league was pretty good. Then a third of the league was kind of in the middle. A third of the league was really bad. I think it's kind of expanded out now to where there's 5 or 6 just god awful, dreadful teams. There's 5 or 6 Super Bowl contenders, you could say, and then the other 20 teams are all like right in the middle, 500 type teams. Like
all there to cause trouble.
It just feels like those 20 they can beat any of those teams that are in the top 5, and they can lose to any of these teams that are in the bottom 5. Like they're just all right in that middle pack of the league, and that's what the league wants. They've wanted this forever, and they've had it now.
And that Bills win for against the Bucs is kind of similar to maybe playing a current day Patriots or a current day
right.
I'm trying to think of another team right now off the top of my head, brain fart. But as far as the Bucs level, their expectations, the surprise that say New England's been, the dangers there maybe in LA with the Chargers. You know what I'm saying? Whereas
and I don't think there's many dangers there, but as Denny was kind of saying before, I think that there's still
good head coach, good quarterback.
The head coach is good, but
a playoff game, anything happens,
But they're just the Chargers are one of those teams. They always Charger.
That's a term,
and it's
that's a marketing term, right?
They always like I just and I think that they're trying to get out of that with. I respect Harbaugh, and I think Harbaugh is an excellent head coach. But for some reason, Paulie, there's certain franchises across all 4 sports that it doesn't matter. Those teams are just always going to have that. It never goes right for them. I feel like they're in that pile.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, it's like anything, right? Until you're proven otherwise, until it's proven different,
right?
That's the label that you're going to have.
Yeah,
absolutely agree with you.
Got to prove it. It's just.
What was some of the other big games that stood out for this weekend?
The other things that were impressive to me, you obviously had those 2 games in the NFC. Let's do a little bit on their side. The Rams beat Seattle.
Great game.
Now, it was a great game. Darnold threw 4 picks. Now, I ask you this, Paulie. Do you come out of that game going, man, the Rams, great job by them, but, the Seahawks probably should have been blown out in that game with him throwing 4 picks, and yet they still lined up, albeit it was a 60-plus yard field goal. They still had a chance to win the game, even with him throwing 4 picks. That might show me that they are a legit team.
Well, that's what I was talking about last week. The game, turnovers. So it didn't turn out for the Seahawks the way they wanted to as far as the winning side, but I think everybody kind of turned around. And yes, you bring up great questions as far as, what ended up on the other side of that with all the mistakes that the Seahawks made. But they're a good team, man.
Yeah.
They're going to cause trouble here at the end.
Yeah.
And they're probably a team that you definitely don't want to see in the playoffs either.
No, and look, I think people will say, well, Darnold will do that in the playoffs, and somebody will. Yeah, but you want to know what? He did that on Sunday, and yet they still had a chance to win the game at the end. Their defense is playing well. They have explosive players on offense. Smith and Jigba is an explosive player, and they are a scary bunch. And the Rams, as we just talked with Denny about, I think the Rams are very good. I think Seattle's very good. I think the Lions, I know that they've had some hiccups here and there, and Campbell's a maniac, going for it on 4th down over and over and over and over and over again against the Eagles on Sunday night in a game that was clearly low scoring, tight, and defensive. He probably could have took some field goals at some point instead of just going. But that's him. He's gonna coach that way.
It was a tight game.
It was a tight game, but I mean, 5 times he went for it on 4th, and 2 of those, you could have kicked field goals, and maybe the game's a little different. And there was an awful call at the end of the game too. The officiating is pathetic, as usual. That would have maybe given the Lions one last crack at it, getting the ball back. So
there's the argument there in a tight game like that, what you're bringing up with Campbell,
right?
What is the logic there?
I think that there's.
He's the Patrick Roy of football.
Well, but I also think that he's I don't think it's all analytics. I think he is crazy at some points too, but I know that he's super analytically driven with some of this stuff. And I think that, Paulie, there has to be a time where, yes, the analytics are important. Even guys like me who always try to make small jokes, charts and graphs, blah, 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 blah. There is a place for it in the game, and it is needed, and it has changed the game in all sports in the past 5 to 10 years. But then there's also, you got to have that gut, like, all right, what are we doing here? I got a 7-6 game. I got a 10-6
game sense. It's
game
management.
It's like maybe getting this game to 10-9 here is something that I want to do, and play this game a little. Not just let's just keep going for it. Let's just keep running through the wall, and it's not working. And I like Campbell. I like that. It's costed him in a few spots. A couple of years ago against the Niners, it did too. Playing the NFC Championship game, that when he had a huge lead out there, and he blew it, and with some crazy decisions, and now he's calling plays too. Like, it's a lot on his plate. I feel like it's
Detroit's problem. It's not ours.
We say this about all these teams, but at the end of the day, the Eagles are still the class of the NFC.
Now
they are.
Brock Purdy comes back.
Yeah,
49-7-4 now. Look good.
Sure.
Put up a lot of points.
You
throw them back in the mix here a little bit.
I'm going to tell you why. I think they've lost too many pieces on defense that they're not going to be able to stop any of these teams in a big spot. And what I mean, when you lose a Fred Warner, when you lose a Nick Bosa, when you guys that are such huge parts of what you do, and you're going to need those guys to beat teams like the Rams. The Rams, like when they played the Niners 2 weeks ago, and I know Purdy didn't play that day, but it didn't matter who was playing quarterback because they couldn't stop the Rams all day. Rams are just scoring. And if they play a team like Detroit or a team like Philly, and Philly's offense has got its problems right now too, but their defense is so good. Points are at a premium against Philadelphia right now. They really are. And it's tough. I think it's the Eagles. I think the Eagles are 1A, Paulie.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I think the Eagles are 1. And the Rams are 2.
Who are you putting 3 there?
And then I'll put Seahawks and Lions as 3. And I know the Bears are leading the North right now. I don't believe in the Bears. Some of these games that they've been winning.
It's a shame nobody believes in the Bears.
Nobody believes in the Bears. Some of these games they've been winning have been.
Might have to get somebody from Chicago
ridiculous.
here in a couple of weeks to talk about the Bears.
Might have to.
I think that's on the plate here.
And they're 7-3 right now, and by the time that happens, they could be 7-5. It could be 7, and so but I still believe the Lions will win that division. They do play, and the Packers. You saw them against the Giants on Sunday. I think their defense is up to the task. I don't think their offense is.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't, and especially now they're going to be without. Jacobs got hurt, who's a big part of their offense. That's I think some tough things for them to get over right now. So it's Eagles for me, kind of there, and I don't think the Rams are far behind them. I think it would be very tough for the Rams to have. They've been having to go to Philly the last year in the playoffs. This year it's tough for them to go to Philly and beat that team. It's very tough for them.
Hey man, we're getting down to the nitty gritty here. So these next couple of weeks are gonna to show
we are getting down to the nitty gritty.
Who's staying and who might be
Turkey
wanting
next
to go
week,
celebrate
man.
the holidays early.
Thanksgiving next week.
Isn't that crazy?
Next Thursday. I don't think they're going to let us in on Thursday for Thanksgiving next Thursday.
I don't know. We'll have to talk about it. Maybe we'll forget about Borelli's. We have to ask the wives first.
That's true. See you in a couple hours. Gotta go. See you later. Got to get to Borelli's. Taps are open. Let's go. Thanksgiving lunch.
Tomorrow we'll talk more about what's coming up this weekend.
We'll do all this week's games.
Don't look now. The Dolphins won 2 in a row, right? I think.
Dolphins. They won that game in Madrid against the.
Speaking of Madrid, my friend, let's
sidebar here. What do you got for me?
Speaking of Madrid here, okay? Because
I gotta see that. I gotta know
something that we've been talking about here as far as the European game and your thoughts on it. And
I wonder where you're going with me here. I can't wait for this.
It's here. Let's do this.
Okay. What do you got for me?
And this is from Madrid Zone. Okay, this is X account.
They are the go-to in Madrid.
I
for
believe
all
so.
information. It's Madrid Zone.
So the NFL game generated 150 million euro in Madrid City. 42,000 out of the 78,610 fans who came to Bernabeu. Thank you for helping me out there.
Yeah.
Everybody knows, listen to me over the years. I am terrible at pronouncing names. So, but anyway, 42,000 out of the 78 were tourists, and 20 million euro was generated in bars and restaurants surrounding the game.
Look.
And it's been considered a massive success. They were raving about the field, and the argument came up about the grass.
Yes.
How they build it as a state-of-the-art stadium. But we talk about why does the NFL do this? I know obviously our general interest in whether or not we're going to wake up and watch the game. And you like I said, the quality of football
Right.
on the field is
That's
not good.
I get
Yes.
why they do it.
But
And
right
this is
here,
why they do it. The money is why they do it. It's why everything gets done and the money's there. And that's why it's going to keep happening.
And this is why this raised my eye a little bit more as to what you talked about a couple of weeks ago with the NFL possibly putting a franchise in Europe.
It's happening.
And when you see these kind of numbers and the successes they're having, this is pretty much a proponent as to why that's eventually.
And I actually know one Dolphin fan who went over there, and it's
did they swim over?
No, didn't swim over. But this is why, because it does generate huge numbers for all these places. Now, this game in particular was like the ones in the past. It was awful. The Dolphin-Washington game, it was an awful watch. It just was. And you say, well, it was an overtime game. It was the game sucked. I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, that's why they're going to keep doing it. They're going to keep just pouring it in because the money's there and the NFL smells money, Paulie.
They
just go and get it. I already saw this morning. They said, who's playing? Where are they going next year? Somewhere new. Paris. You're going to have the Saints playing Paris next year.
That'd be nice.
So,
take the wives for a weekend, buddy. Weekend in Paris.
Catch
an NFL game.
Yeah, to see the Saints.
Tea, some wine and cheese, buddy.
Wine and cheese. The Saints, the whole deal.
We could do the show while we're in Paris.
Could do that.
You know?
Nothing wrong with that.
Look at that.
Absolutely.
Look at us thinking here.
With us. Carver and Cuthbert, Go Sports Radio here from Borelli's Tap Room in Long Beach as we get ready for lots of more football this week. Let's do the college now. I told you I got fired up last week about Notre Dame, and they did exactly what I wanted them to do, Paulie. Smash job against Pitt. Smash job. Came in and take care of business.
They look really good, man.
They do.
They look really, really good.
That's why they will be in the college football playoff. They will beat Syracuse and Stanford the next 2 weeks. Another thing I remember telling you about, the Stanford game next week, Thanksgiving weekend's at 10:30 at night. On that Saturday, and I know Notre Dame fans aren't used to that. Mm-hmm. How dare you put our team on at 10:30 at night? Well, guys, here's the problem. Stanford sucks. That's just it is what it is. That's why they're playing the game at 10:30 at East Coast time, because there's no interest to seeing Notre Dame stomp Stanford by 40 or 50 points.
Yeah.
So they're going to stick that game on the late window, and it's good. That allows ESPN also to put really probably quality triple, quadruple header with Notre Dame as the last leg late night, which they never get the chance to do. They hardly ever play out there. So there's TV and money reasons behind all of that as well. Last night, Paulie, the new college football playoff rankings. So no change with the top three: Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M. Although Texas A&M tried to lose.
Yes, they did.
They did try to lose that game, but they were able to rally.
It was a fun comeback.
Second half. It was 31-30 win over South Carolina for them. Georgia up to 4, Texas Tech up to 5, Ole Miss up to 6, Oregon up to 7. All these teams are moving up a spot because, of course, Alabama lost to Oklahoma, dropped them down to 10, Oklahoma to 8, Notre Dame to 9. And those are your top 10 teams in the college football playoff ranking, with BYU 11, Utah 12, Miami 13. Now, the problem for BYU, Utah, and Miami, you're probably like, oh, yeah, there's 12 teams. So those are not how it works. You see, the ACC champion is going to get a bid into the college football playoff, which Miami's the highest ranked ACC team, but there's a problem. Miami might not play in the ACC title game. They have 2 losses in conference. There's still, I believe, 3 or 4 teams with 1 loss in conference. 2 of them are playing each other this week with Georgia Tech and Pitt. So one of them will get a second loss, but it's become a conference, Paulie, that really seems like nobody wants to win. Every time anyone has kind of the pole position to maybe take that over, they lose. It seems like that's kind of been the thing this year. So I believe it's Georgia Tech, Pitt, SMU, all have 1, and Virginia. I think Virginia is still in there with 1 loss as well in the ACC. So that needs to be decided for 1 spot. And then the other spot is who's going to get this 5th, which is technically, it's called the Group of 5 conference champion, which this week they have Tulane as the top team in there. But still, Tulane's also in a spot, Paulie, kind of like Miami. They're in a 4-way tie, and there's no guarantee they're even going to play in their conference championship game. So there's a lot of teams that could get that spot. There's Tulane, there's North Texas, James Madison from the Fun Belt might also be a player for that. So, barring any kind of upsets, Paulie, you can make a case like, now crazy things happen. Maybe one of these teams, Oregon might lose to USC this week. That could change things for them.
Really?
If Oregon lost to USC this week, I think they would be out, honestly, because I think it would propel USC, who's a 15 right now. I think that would propel them up and knock Oregon down.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably the most significant game in terms of at large type of things, in terms of getting in this tournament this week. Now, the other thing that could shake things up is if Texas Tech ever lost, and which they could, the Big 12 title game. Because I think right now the Big 12 is getting one team, even though Utah and BYU are kind of knocking on the door there. And that there's still some tiebreaker stuff there. I think if BYU wins out, they do get a second crack at Texas Tech. But let's say they beat them in that title game, they're automatic. Is Texas Tech going to fall all the way out? So there's still some. If you're a Notre Dame or an Oklahoma or an Alabama fan, you just don't want any craziness right now. You don't want something like that happening. You want things staying status quo.
You can't inflict that craziness on yourself.
Right. So Auburn, Alabama's going to play Auburn in the Iron Bowl Thanksgiving weekend. Auburn's not having a good year. Fired their coach already. But it's a huge rivalry game. You can't stub your toe and lose that type of game. Oklahoma's actually probably got a pretty tough game this week. Mizzou they're a spunky team. Mizzou.
Mm-hmm.
So and I believe they play LSU the last game, Oklahoma, if I off the top of my head remember scheduled, which I sometimes are able to do. But that's kind of where they're not out of the woods yet either. So they're, like you say, and if you take care of your own business, it could stay this way. But there are some potholes, you could say, along the way for some of these teams that could come in.
Yeah, there's no room for any kind of error here for a lot of, especially the pressure that's coming. I mean, Ohio State, man, just cruising here.
What if Michigan beats Ohio State and they're 10-2? Does that vault them up enough past some of these teams beating Ohio State?
Well, I don't think any of us have. There's no way we can know because the guys who run the selection.
Well,
process.
I call them the crack crab and lobster committee. So they get to all go to some hotel in Dallas and sit around and pretend that they're watching the games while they're eating crack crab and lobster on the college football playoffs dime. They get to stay in fancy hotels. They get to do all these things, and they're the crack crab and lobster committee. That's what that's the same thing with the NCAA basketball tournament. The guys that pick that and the girls that pick the crew that they get to sit there and eat fancy meals and pretend that they watch all the games as they sip on wine and eat crack crab and lobster. That's what these people do.
And I'd have to say that the institutions know this too. So look, you just got to go and win your football games.
That's it.
This is really all it is, especially this part of the season right now. It's pretty obvious.
Never heard me throw that out before?
No, I haven't.
That's
fantastic.
I've been using that for a long time. These guys.
I'd like to join that club, man.
It doesn't sound like a bad club. Crack crab and lobster committee. You get to sit around and act like they care. So that's kind of how it goes. Carver and Cuthbert here with you, Go Sports Radio from Borelli's Tap Room here.
Any thoughts on Virginia Tech hiring James Franklin?
Oh, yes. I saw people completely bash this hire as, why would you want James Franklin? Paulie, James Franklin never got big wins at Penn State. Never. He was like 1-12 against Ohio State. He was like 2-19 against top 5 teams. Like, he never got big wins. This is the perfect place for James Franklin going to Blacksburg. It's perfect in a couple of areas. Number one, he can go there. He's a great recruiter.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to get kids in there that can play. The ACC, as we just kind of mentioned, it's a pretty wide open conference. You don't have the Ohio States and the Michigans and the Oregons and the Alabamas. And you don't have these teams that you have to jump over to win the conference and get, like we just said, this automatic bid into the conference. He's going to have an opportunity probably within 2 or 3 years to really build a really good, and quickly now with the portal. It happens fast now. You can build this stuff up. And the other thing he's not going to have is he's not going to have Virginia Tech. Obviously, they want to win, and they had so much stability there forever with Frank Beamer. They've kind of obviously now their last couple hires have not gone well. They want to win, but they're not psycho fire the coach after every single loss like the super heavies like Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that will help him as well,
Mm-hmm.
that he can go there, be the kind of coach that he is, I think win 10 plus games a year at Virginia Tech, possibly be in the college football playoff on the regular. Now, will he have a team good enough to beat an Ohio State when he gets to that point? Maybe not, but I know he's going to be there, and there's going to be stability for him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not going to be a thing where within 2 years, they're going to be like, I don't think he'll do a bad enough job. Where in 2 years, like, get him the hell out of here. He's like, why haven't we won anything? Because they haven't won anything anyway.
Yeah.
So they might as well. Even Beamer got him a title game once. They want, every team has a bar in college football. It's hard. Not every team, Paulie, unfortunately, starts their camp going, we're going to win the national championship this year. But there's bars that you want to reach. And if he can get Vodtech back into the business of winning 10 games every year, winning ACC titles, being in the playoff, people are going to love him there. And I think that he's a good coach to be able to do that. So I actually think it's a good.
And yeah, it's a great quick bounce back for him too. Getting a job, didn't sit out too long. So now we're just waiting to find out where Dable's going to land up. So, but good for him. Good for Virginia Tech, and be interesting to see how that program moves forward.
And there's a lot of openings coming up in the next few weeks once it starts. I know Ole Miss is giving Lane like a deadline of next week to decide if he wants to go to LSU or Florida and do all that stuff. So there's a lot going on with the college coaching carousel. All right, we only have we're limited on time, Paulie. So let's do a few other things. We did talk about the hockey teams. Did you watch the Rangers in Vegas last night?
I watched a little bit of it. I don't lie here on this show. And I've also told you, too, that the New York Rangers aren't really getting me all too excited yet. But obviously, Sully had some personal stuff to deal with. So,
yes.
Quinn stepped in there the other night. But a fun game, I guess you could say, as far as both sweaters being dark at the Garden Ice the other night. I think a lot of people like that. Maybe we could talk real quick about, the whole overreaction about the goal into the empty net at the end of the game and the fight and the brawl. And it created a big, a really nice picture. But that's about it. Look, the Rangers, they just got to show the fans something. I mean, you're getting little pieces of it. I think, Dennis kind of, we waited on it before as far as defensively and, and what they've got to do up front scoring wise. So they're a work in progress. They are Sully's work in progress, and we'll just see what happens. And I got to tell you, man, fair play to the Rangers fans. They just keep coming out, man. They're big turnouts at the building, even despite the inconsistency, especially the play at home. Islanders look great. I think it's a lot of fun. Everything they're doing right now, I think, again, same thing. I joke with you guys.
I'm stunned with how well they've played on this road trip.
It's 20 games, but there is something different because they're winning games that they would have lost in the past.
No question.
There's a different energy. I think Schaefer is making Barzy play well, better. Horvat play well.
Horvat's been their best
when you have, you can see this on, and this goes through any sports. If you have a guy that comes in that draws a lot of attention, and then you already have talented players on your team, and it just opens up lanes for them.
Yeah.
It opens up pressure. It makes the other coaches and the other teams have to play a different way. And I think, Schaefer, just in itself of him being a huge part of the lineup now has changed it because, Pulak and Pelech, they've got a pretty decent defensive squad there. Sorokin's, it's all right. It's 20 games in. You get your legs, you get your sharpness, you start feeling things a little bit. It starts gelling. I think the Islanders right now are gelling pretty well. I think this road trip was great. Look, last week I said they weren't going to win a game because I said that, but I said that because in the past that's a trip that they would go out and they would just
it's a tough trip.
Crushed.
It's a tough trip. I'm stunned they're 5-1 on the trip. If you would have told me 2 or 3 wins out of the 7, I would have said, 3 wins would have been 3 out of the 4. But when they won the first, and again, it's not a real 7-game road trip. The first 2 games were at home. Like, they didn't have to travel. Like, they played the Rangers and the Devils. So really, it's a 5-game trip. And for them to have won 3 of these 4 games, the way that they have, the Utah game, and the way that the Vegas game with the overtime winner like last night, I couldn't believe they went into Dallas and beat that team last night with how they've been playing.
And
That's
we joke and we talk about how, and I do too, a lot of people do, that the NHL regular season really doesn't mean anything because everybody makes the playoffs.
Well,
but for a team like the Islanders, these points early in the season are probably going to help them out big time towards the end of the year.
If the playoffs ended today, you'd get a playoff preview tomorrow night in Detroit. Islanders, Red Wings, first round. I didn't see the Rangers on the list when it said if the season ended today and they had all these matchups. I didn't see them on there.
What do they usually say? By the end of December, wherever the standings are.
That's
kind of like a medium where things might play out. And
the only team that's really bucked that is, I guess, that year the Blues went from last on January
and this
1st and been on the run and won the cup.
Right. I tell you, the season's going to be interesting to pay attention to when these guys get back from the Olympic break.
Yeah.
There's going to be a team that comes back, probably either the winner of the whole damn thing. There's going to be a lot of emotions, the travel. There's going to be a lot of guys on break.
Yeah.
So these points, again, that we're talking about, that the Islanders just grabbed out on this trip, going to probably be pretty important on the second half of the season for them.
I'm sure that they are. And
the Devils have lost their main guy again. We were talking about this last week. If they could stay healthy on Thursday,
sure enough,
the next night they go out to dinner.
And the guy cuts his hand, the tendon, and he's out for probably months. And do you like the Ranger Winter Classic jerseys that they released this morning?
It's just the white version of the Centennial. So
that's really all it is.
It's
all it is.
I think it's a home run. The dark blue, the home jersey. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. I love the Red Wings Centennial jersey too. I think they're beautiful.
Yeah.
It's nice. I like that it says New York on it, so I love it.
Yeah.
I haven't bought a new Ranger sweater in years.
Okay.
So
you can get a blank one. I know you don't want to support any of the guys on the team, but you can get a blank one.
That's the thing too. I mean, look, I have I still wish they would wear the whites at home.
Well, we've talked.
I'm an old man.
We've talked about this. We've talked about this for ages.
But look, it's all right. I don't. The Panthers put the old logo back. So what'd you think about that as far as the crest?
I love it.
Yeah,
I thought the Panther ones were cool.
I just hope the ice doesn't melt down there for that game. We'll see what happens.
That would be the tough part that you don't obviously don't want to deal with. That's for sure. So hockey, the Rangers tomorrow. We'll talk more because they both play tomorrow night.
Yes.
Islanders are in Detroit. Rangers will be in Colorado, of course, against the Avalanche. And man, the Avalanche, like Denny said, they are the wagon right now in the NHL. They have been unbelievable. All right,
my favorite coached that team. Bednar is phenomenal.
Favorite did you like Wah? I know we didn't do it. Wah went bonkers last night, man. That was the first time it looked like Wah.
You know what?
Going to take someone's head off.
Good for him. Look, I am a Strangers fan. I am happy that the Islanders are playing as well as they are. Also, I have a young son who happens to be an Islander fan, so his happiness is important to me. That's good stuff. You need that emotion.
Yeah.
I think the only thing it was is that he can't blow his complete kettle over the top. But look, that was horrible last night.
Yeah.
And Romanov's been a really good player for that team. And it's just no matter who's in that sweater who goes into the boards like that and gets hurt. But you love to see your coach sticking up for your squad like that.
Fiery,
and it was but that's awesome. That's classic Wah. Hey, I said it when the Islanders got him originally. I loved it because we loved him as a player.
Right.
Yes, tough go, first go round as an NHL coach. And I think he's taken full advantage of being the Islanders coach here. And I think he loves being the Islander coach. And I think he wants to stay here for a long time. And that kind of emotion sticking up for a player, I got nothing. I no problem with it.
Yeah. No, it's I don't have any problem with him. I think he's great. I think it's fun. I know he's trying to run Schaefer into the ground, but I don't blame him. That's his ticket to keeping his job.
Put Scadaboo on the bench with him. That's what he should do.
Scadaboo.
Assistant coach.
I saw the clip again while we were here at Borelli's of him. He's so set up nicely. They had the guy stand right in front of him. It was just an easy Yeah, the guy probably made it look worse with how he fell.
You know what? Actually,
it's just-
Scadaboo should go on the Rangers bench to give it a little more life.
They
there,
could
you know
use
what I'm
some
saying?
fire. They could use some
they
fire.
need some fire.
Yankees, MLB had the qualifying offers, of course. Yesterday was the deadlines this week, and I think most of the guys accepted who were going to yesterday. And of course, the Yankees issued the qualifying offer, Paulie. For those who don't know how this kind of works, basically, when teams have free agents in baseball, they can issue them the qualifying offer, which is an average salary of all the top players of that position and all that. So you do this for, one reason. If then the guy goes and signs with another team, you can get a compensatory draft pick if that happens. So a lot of times teams never think the players are going to take the qualifying offer because they think they're going to get more than 1 year and $22 million. And then when they go sign for 4 years and 80 somewhere, you get the compensatory draft pick with whatever round is attached to their numbers or their stats and things. So I believe the Yankees offered it to Grisham thinking that he was never going to accept it and that he was going to go get a deal somewhere else. Well, that backfired on them. He said, 1 year, $22 million? Sure, I'll take it. I'm in. So now Yankees are in a position where could be just bringing the same band back together next year that you saw this year. Because and you're not
gonna
it's hard to pay a fourth outfielder
I'm one of the few
$22 million.
doesn't have a big problem with it.
You don't have a problem with it. Bringing the same band back together.
I look, Grizz played great for us last year.
He's never going to play that well again.
Well, the other thing, all right. So
it's never happening.
So who
He's never going to be play that well again.
So who you put in center field? Who else is out there? And may I ask, cannot Trent Grisham be involved in a trade?
For sure that they could do that. I'm sure that also could
happen. My gut feeling on this, because it doesn't make any sense, is that Gris is going to be part of a trade package.
Well, I hope that you're right, because I just
that's the only way it makes sense.
It just honestly, it doesn't make a lot of sense, because they said they were going to make changes, and I don't really necessarily ever believe that. You know that I'm extremely down on the Yankees. I'm really, really down on them. So for me to think that they're going to, like I said, I think they should sign Kyle Tucker. They're not going to sign Kyle Tucker. Now, Kyle Tucker, Bellinger. Could they bring Bellinger back? Sure. Now there's talk that the Dodgers
Brian
are
Cashman, quote unquote, said he's going to do what needs to get done.
Oh, he doesn't say that every year? Same canned statement that he gives you every single year. I'm going to do what needs to get done. Well, he's done a real good job of that the last few years.
Buddy, look forward to another 91 season. We're going to follow Judge around. It's going to be great.
As long as they're selling those $22 Heinekens out in center
He's
field.
going to have another great year.
As long as they're selling the $22 Heinekens out in center field. That's all that matters.
Come on, buddy.
At least the Mets.
Who's stepping in for Volpe? We got a lot of things to look forward to next year.
At least the Mets are talking about a rumor mill out. They're trying to mix things up. There's guys on their roster who are available. You want Vientos, you want Nimmo, you want McNeil, you want Senga. They're looking to get some of these guys out and change the team.
Doesn't go and get everybody. Load the truck up to the houses, give them all the money, and bring them in.
They get to do now what they used to hate when George was around with the Yankees. They could just go shopping, Paulie. They go down the aisle. Oh, I need one of these here. Oh, I need a pitcher here. Oh, the third baseman here. Oh.
Sorry, Mets fans. I'm convinced that franchise is cursed, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Cursed.
We'll see what happens.
Cursed.
Come on,
so you're putting them in
1986, buddy.
So it's like my Charger will always Charger, Jet will always Jet.
The Mets.
Clipper will always Clipper. Like you think that it's
the Mets ain't so amazing.
Wow.
But look, if you're a fan, you got to love what Cohen's been doing. Hey, let's see what happens. What else can we do? It's not our money. It's just way too much money here. Way too much money. I did catch the Reggie Jackson interview with Bob Costas from 2011 on MLB Network the other day. And just hearing Reggie and his just talking about Steinbrenner and the way it was back then. And obviously the 90s teams were touring and everything and stuff. We'll get back there. We'll get back there some way. Because Brian Cashman said, we're Go
I
ahead.
know, right? You got the list there. I
We
saw
need to
that you
do.
wrote down his note. What is it that he said?
They're going to do what they need to do.
Oh,
Yes.
I actually saw the Blue Jays are going to sign Tucker. Blue
Why
Jays
not?
are going to spend a lot of money.
Think Bo's coming back? He declined.
Yeah, but because he knows he's going to get more than 1
Gonna
year
get
at
bank.
$20 million.
Bank.
He's going to get money. And, the Dodgers are going to spend more money, too. They don't care that they won.
Pay Bo the money.
Pay
And
Bo
his
the
bum
money.
knee.
Pay Bo the money and his bum knee.
And his bum
That's
knee.
what he should
We
absolutely
going to talk
do.
soccer before we get out of here, pal?
We should.
Isn't that crazy?
We should.
Well, I didn't think it was going to happen.
Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I brought this up to you last week on Thursday. It's kind of like a gas. Like I was just like, you can watch Ireland Portugal today. Like it was like a.
I didn't even know what was going on.
Like it was like a, they got to win at the Aviva against
And I gave them
Portugal,
no chance.
and then they'd stay alive for
Yes.
this, and they'd have to beat Hungary then on Sunday. And I kind of gave you the whole map. And now I will admit to you, when we left here last week, I thought there was no shot they'd beat Portugal.
Ronaldo and the boys?
No shot that they would win that game. And sure enough, 2-0 win, 2 goals from the Parrot.
Ronaldo with the red card.
Ronaldo
Get him out. Scenes.
tossed
The scenes are
out
unbelievable.
with the red, and they ran out of Guinness in Dublin. And, I mean, it was just now.
And in every Irish pub around the world.
And then the problem is they restocked all the pubs, and then they ran out of Guinness again on Sunday with that comeback against
Hat-trick.
Hungary and the hat trick for Parrot. 5 goals in 2 games. Unbelievable. And we'll find out tomorrow what the path is for them
yes.
in the playoffs. So they've changed the World Cup playoff. It used to be you'd play one team.
Is it a long explanation?
No,
Because
it's a
I'm
short one.
no, and I'm saying I'm curious.
Short one.
No, I'm not trying to rush you. I'm being honest.
It's not a long explanation. They used to do a home and home against one team, and whoever came out of that was the winner. Now it's 4 pots of 4 teams.
Okay.
So there's 4 spots available, and they rank them. There's 4. There's 1 plays 4, 2 plays 3.
Single elimination.
And and
not
then
the,
and then the winners play each other, and then the winner of that game goes to the World Cup.
Oh,
That's it.
all right.
So they're in pot 3. So they will go on the road to play a team in pot 2 in the first leg of the playoff.
And how do they determine who's home and away?
Well, the teams in pots 1 and 2 have a home game in the first leg of the playoffs.
Better records.
By their
Better
FIFA
seeding.
ranking
Okay, gotcha.
and all that stuff. That's how that stuff is determined. They will have in pot number 2. I believe they will go to either. Let me just get this out for you, Fast Boy, because I did have it. And then I just want to make sure that I have it. I believe it's Wales is one of the Wales, Poland. I'm going to have to.
Man, the English-Irish Isles are
I know.
representing.
They are.
Scotland, with scenes in Scotland yesterday.
They are. Ireland World Cup. Whether right here. Ireland World Cup pot. I'll bring it up for you. But we'll know tomorrow who the opponents are going to be. Poland, Wales, Slovakia, or Czech. They will play one of those teams on the road in the first leg. And if they win that, they'll play the winner of the other match.
So they could play Wales? Is that one of them? Did you say that? Was that one of them?
Yes, I did say that. So Poland, Wales, Slovakia, Czech. They will play one of those 4 teams on the road. And then they have to win that to still win another game to get to America next summer.
Hey.
2026.
They've given the country something to cheer for. So, and it's been great to see.
Well,
Both of us,
USA versus
obviously,
the Republic of Ireland to start the World Cup.
of Irish descent
in LA.
ourselves. Go, boys.
What a great way that would be to start the World Cup. USA, Ireland in LA, the first match of the World Cup.
I don't know. I think we're
It's
going to
not impossible.
have to drink a few more pints for that to happen.
It's not impossible.
No, it's not impossible.
The dream's
but
there.
I tell you, it's just those first 4 countries you just named: Poland, Czechoslovakia, Wales, and who was the other one? I mean, those are tough nations to play against.
Slovakia, I think I said.
Yeah, that's tough.
Well, you got to remember, they're playing.
But they are riding a bit of luck.
They're playing a different brand of football under this Iceland manager, and he's got them playing offensive football and pushing ahead and doing all of those things. So,
Well, there's
nice
definitely
job.
one great night
Well,
coming up for Ireland and the pubs, and for Guinness sales, at least guaranteed. One more big night coming up.
they're gonna get one more big night coming up for them, that's for sure. The MLS is now going to switch to the European schedule. And I
Now,
saw you
hold
tweet
on a
about
second.
that.
Are we really going to talk about the MLS here?
Well, I was tying it in with the
European-
soccer note, so that was why I did that.
Yeah, I'm a little down on MLS, you know?
You should be. It's a garage league.
Yeah.
Like it should, it's not the same. It's basically like the third tier in England. It might even be the fourth.
I mean, I think they warranted that, to be honest with you. But, you know,
Maybe get all your games on Apple Plus.
I'll tell you what, you know, sometimes when you don't understand something, it's best to talk
You
to
got
somebody
Apple
who
Plus.
does. To watch what?
You got to put all the MLS on Apple Plus.
Here's every time I've tuned in to check in on an MLS game, all I see are just noise and flags and this overblown stuff in the stands. I mean, in the Bundesliga down in South America, these franchises have been around for decades, hundreds of years, and that's built in. For a city that just got awarded a franchise like 2 months ago, and like everybody's got flags and stuff. Come on. But you know what? Like I said, maybe we'll have to bring somebody on the show who understands it, who can explain it to us. I know what you're talking about. They're changing to the like the Premier League format.
Start in August, end in May.
Good for them. They're going to play in the cold.
July.
Yeah.
So they're actually going to do July to May and take 6 weeks off in January, like January, December.
You know, when the new stadium's built there in Flushing, maybe we'll stop in, see NYFC. We'll see what it's all about.
Sure,
we'll see what it's all about.
All right, Paulie. So tomorrow here from Borelli's Tap Room, Go Sports Radio, we will be back here. We will go through all the games, Week 12 in the NFL. We'll go through all the big college football games for this week. We've got an Islander and a Ranger game on Thursday night, both on the road to get to, and any other craziness that we can.
Maybe even some of the craziness that happened at UFC over the weekend too. We got to talk a little UFC on the show
now,
too.
Are you talking about them all fighting in the stands? Is that what you're talking about?
Also the kid who won the other night too. Just I got to get my notes on.
It
this
wasn't
stuff too,
Scatterbo.
No, he was there though.
He was at that too because
Yes.
it was at the Garden.
Yes.
And
He
the
was there,
Garden's
too.
been rocking lately, huh?
So
Aside from
maybe
Ranger games,
we'll touch on some
UFC, Monday Night Raw. They've had a lot of big. They had the
He's
great
got time.
college doubleheader last night with Michigan State
You know what?
and Kentucky,
We
Duke,
should
and
see if-
Kansas.
We should see if Cam wants to come and hang out with us. He's got some time.
He's got time on his hands.
I'll reach out to him.
We'll
see
get him
what
a
happens.
we'll get him a couple pizzas here at Borelli's. Line him up. He'll be good to go.
Sounds good to me, buddy.
All right, so we'll be back tomorrow here. Go Sports Radio, Carver and Cuthbert from Borelli's Tap Room in Long Beach. A big thanks to Denny Bernstein, of course, for coming
Great
by,
stuff.
for stopping on today and talking with us. Paulie, great job as always. I'll see you back here tomorrow. Carver, Cuthbert, Go Sports Radio. See you then.